6 a.m. A member of the kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
Sama-sama tayong matakam at matuto. Pinoy Flavors with Chef Jayson, where flavor meets heritage.
Yummy!
Welcome po sa isa na namang episode ng Pinoy Flavors with Chef Jayson, no? Isa na namang masarap na usapan ang ating masasaksihan kasama ang ating guest for today. And as a first, tayo po ay magkakaroon ng guest via phone patch today. Pakiramdam ko para akong newscaster na may kausap na senador. But tonight we're joined by Ige Ramos, a cultural historian of the Filipino table, an author, a designer, and the founder of Ugnayan Center for Filipino Gastronomy. And through his books, including his newest, Bukang Bibig, he has asked a question that cuts deeper than flavor. What does it mean to taste a nation? So we're very happy and I'm very honored to have one of the Filipino scholars that I really look up to. Sir Ige Ramos, welcome po sa Pinoy Flavors. Good evening po. Ayan, medyo nagkakaroon tayo ng technical difficulties dito, no? Ayan. Sir Ige, are you there? Hello. Sorry.
Yes, hi. Hi, Jason. How are you?
First time ko lang din mag-episode via phone patch. Kaya medyo, happy 40th EDSA anniversary!
Yes.
Para sa atin, no? Nasaan ka nung this time in 1986?
I was in EDSA. I was 23 years old.
23?
Or 26, I think, yeah. 26 years old that time, yeah. I was already working then.
Mm-hmm. And how was the environment then? Actually, yung gusto kong itanong ay, nagkaroon ba ng victory meal? What was the first meal you had after?
We were there for 4 days, 3 nights. We were part of a volunteer from Cavite who brought food to EDSA.
Mm-hmm.
So, nag-prepare kami mga tinapa, and then silangag, and then I was like cutting yung mga kamatis, sibuyas, tapos ina-assemble namin, binabalot namin sa daon ng saging, tapos lagay sa plastic with the cubiertos. And we were like distributing food to the soldiers, to the people, to the nuns, you know. So it was like really, really nice. Nice atmosphere. And then after midnight, we tune into the radio para then gising na naman ng maaga, then cook, and then brought the food all over again. Tapos yun, we were tuned in. We have our wala pang cellphone noon, so we had transistor radios.
Okay.
That we keep on changing the frequency because di ba?
Para hindi ma-crackdown.
Na-cut down yung isang radio station, tapos bigla naging Radyo Bandido. Very, very interesting. It was like parang a light at the end of the tunnel. So, you know.
At that time, yung food ba, you thought na was a crucial part of keeping the nation's morale?
We do not think of food as we think of food today. However, it's already in our DNA. That people need to be fed, that people need to eat, to be nourished, to be satiated. So so it's really part yung the sharing of food itself is part of our DNA, no? So talagang hindi mo may pagkakaila na food talaga plays a very important role in not just in nation building, but giving comfort. Nagbibigay ng ginhawa sa mga tao.
Yes. I mean, food is memory in itself eh. So parang
It is, yeah.
yung comfort mo, just a konting kwento lang, no, Ige. Yung restaurant ko sa Marikina, it's called Trining's Kitchen Stories. I dedicated it to my grandmother who died during the COVID-19 pandemic. So parang the single most important question that I answered before I took my life savings and dove into the restaurant business without any formal education in the industry was that natatakot ako na hindi ko na maalala yung pagkain ng lolo. Yun. So parang
True.
I just wanted to bridge that, and then eventually doon nakikita na parang there's a greater responsibility when it comes to food, specifically Filipino food. So in times of calamities, ang naging advocacy ko naman is to transform the restaurant into a volunteer soup kitchen so that we can...
I heard about that. So,
yun. So,
Chef Waya.
Si Chef Waya. Gusto ko rin siya i-guest dito. Hindi pa kami nagkakaroon ng schedule together. I wanted to zoom in sa Bukang Bibig because you said that we want to demystify a lot of myths about Filipino cuisines, no?
Yes.
Sa tingin mo, on top of your head, which misconception about Filipino food has done the most damage to to the perception regarding our food?
Okay. Sabi nila Filipino food is that it's too oily, it's too brown, it's not nutritious. Yung brownness, and then at the same time there's
maraming sugar.
Basically, I was talking about sobrang tamis, tapos underspiced, underwhelming. So because the food that they're familiar with, basically, yung mga dinala ng mga balikbayan relatives natin abroad, is basically the trifecta of adobo, pansit, and lumpia. So although yung tatlong pagkain na yon is a very good departure point to discuss Filipino food, but there's more to Filipino food than lumpia or adobo. No? So yun nga, no, yung sa first book, kasi yung Bukang Bibig is basically the continuation of the first book, no? Yung Dila at Bandila, ang paghahanap sa pambansang panlasa ng Pilipinas. Na inano ko rin, sinabi ko na adobo is not our national dish. So maraming syempre maraming nag-react, no? But I stand by my own So yun, like yung bakit like sa state laging nire-represent pag Filipino food,
sisig.
laging may budol fight, laging may sisig, merong although diniscuss ko yung mga issues about those things na without naman hurting the feelings of our kababayan. But basically, yung parang, okay, this is my idea, this is my point of view. As a food scholar, ito yung findings ko with my research, and I've written it down. So, yung original title ng Bukang Bibig is mahaba talaga. So, sabi ko dun sa cover, no, parang may mga maliit na text dun sa cover. Sabi ko, eat Filipino food, not for the history because we don't know what it's authentic.
Yeah.
Eat Filipino food, not for the culture because we're not exotic enough. Eat Filipino food because what you know about it is wrong. So it's a tongue-in-cheek, no? May konting sarcasm, may konting irony. Tapos pag sinabi mo, like you ask a regular tripulante, kargador, ano yung almusal mo? Sabi niya, wala pa. Filipino food ba yung almusal niya? Like of pandesal and Reno potted meat and cheese whiz and 3-in-1 coffee. Diba? Ito yung prevailing attitude. Kasi when I do my research on Filipino food, I don't erase or I don't neglect what people eat. I always ask them, why do you eat this? Because of convenience. Why do you eat in karinderya? Because of trust. Tapos, if you notice, karinderya natin, di ba, walang menu.
Walang menu, oo.
Cognitive lang talaga, cognitive interference, yung nangyayari. Halimbawa, may mga trabador, mga laborer, nakikita na nila yung food, na yung quality ng food, how it's cooked, yung deliciousness, dun sa turo-turo. So parang mas elevated pa siya dun sa regular Japanese izakaya na merong wax pangalan niyo, yung parang may plastic representation of food.
Yeah.
Ito, nakikita mo na talaga yung food.
Yeah.
So that's how it works, no, for us Filipinos, no. Makikita yung we're not just cognitive eaters. Alam na natin kung anong lasa niya by just like looking at it. Yung deliciousness. And then at the same time, rice is the center of our diet.
Yes.
So we are basically a chromatic eater. We don't eat by courses. Rice is our canvas. Tapos kinukulayan natin ang kanin natin with different texture, color, taste. Tapos halo-halo yung sabaw, yung may chicharon, merong protein, may vegetables. So that's how we eat, and there's nothing wrong with that. Diba?
Yes. Actually,
So,
dun sa sinabi mo kanina na we're not exotic enough, what's your definition of being exotic?
kasi like may mga may mga discussion about how do we promote Filipino food.
Yes.
Tapos may mga nasasabi nila, why don't we follow the Thai model or the Vietnamese model na may mga ganun mga exotica. Tapos minsan yung exotica natin, it's over the top. Like we serve balut, may mga yung food na meron shock value like balut, tamilok, yung kuracha, saka yung sa Pampanga yung yung betute, saka yung pangalan nun, yung kamaru, no? So that's too exotic naman. Pero that's too exotic for the taste of the foreigner. But in
And even our own
everyday-
people, di ba? Parang hindi lahat ng tao kakainin din yung mga yan.
Correct. Di ba? So, may mga ganon. So, ikaw, why don't we just like serve them like regular karinderya fare? Like yung mga pansit, yung mga pansit luglog, yung mga ganon, no? So, pansit luglog is essentially our pad thai.
Yeah.
No, if you've come to think about it, no? Parang halos magkapareho lang yung ingredients except for the spiciness. Di ba? So,
Yes.
So yung exoticism, it brought about by yung parang it's like a part of our colonial vestige na dapat exotic yung food natin to be appreciated by the foreigners.
Okay. So
In
parang
fact,
colonial gaze na naman. Our food is served.
colonial gaze lagi, no? So that actually started when one of the criticisms I wrote, an essay I wrote before, yung colonial gaze ni Andrew Zimmern tsaka ni Anthony Bourdain. It took a foreigner and their colonial gaze and taste buds to validate Filipino food that it's actually okay to eat Filipino food.
Sama mo na yung Sleeping Beauty ni Gordon Ramsay last year.
Doon nagsimula yung sabi ko, wow, nagiging performative na talaga yung pagkain Filipino. Hindi lang performative, but it's like serving the purpose. It's a constructed, culturally constructed production. Di ba? So, di ba, yung parang pag may fiesta tayo, di ba, performative lahat ng mga pagkain. Pero ang nakakalimutan natin, na yung pagkain natin ay merong social and cultural function.
Yeah.
Like, hindi lahat ng pagkain ay siniserve sa fiesta, kundi siniserve sa pagmahal na araw, pag Ramadan,
Semana
pag
Santa.
Fitri, Semana Santa, di ba? So, ito yung mga nakakalimutan na natin na I have to remind people na you eat not just to enjoy, no? food, but
Mhm.
basically observing rituals and religious activities.
Yeah.
So yun yung parang feeling ko na dapat hindi rin mawala,
Mhm.
no?
Mhm.
Hindi lahat ng pagkain para wow, this is so goody, this is so yummy.
So
But,
okay ka with
yeah.
okay ka with dishes dying naturally if they don't serve any cultural.
No, in fact, one of the reasons why I wrote the book, yung Republic of Faith, the Untold Stories of the VTC, because nga, during that time, my mom was ill, she was dying. I have to basically interview her every day. Ano yung mga kinakain namin, gano'n, yung mga niluluto ng bata ko. In fact, yun yung greatest, yung fear of this food will die, a natural death. Pero ang inaano ko naman, halimbawa sa Cavite, ina-encourage ko yung mga tao to basically go back to their roots. And ano ba yung mga pagkain serve pag Semana Santa, pag Pasko, pag may patay, and encourage them to cook it and to serve it para tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung tradition. And then people are picking it up, no, the last 10-15 years. Marami mga discoveries, no, from Cavite City, and then as far as Magallanes, nare-realize din ng mga farmers ng Magallanes na parang importante yung contribution nila kasi a lot of the ingredients used in Cavite cuisine comes from the highlands of Magallanes, from Indang, from Amadeo, yun, no? May mga ganong geographic interconnection and interactivities.
Speaking of yung geographic interconnectivity, no. I remember a discussion din dun sa Dila at Bandila, an attempt to set some standards on how can we consider a dish a national dish. No? And ako ang personal opinion ko, in an archipelago of many regions, medyo mahirap to speak of a national palate.
Mahirap, oo.
Parang ako nga, I'd even go as far and say that there is no national Filipino cuisine. We have
Regional.
multiple excellent regional cuisines. Pero
Correct.
wala tayong national culinary identity. And yet,
Yes.
we judge the cuisine as if it's one entire homogeneous entity.
Kasi kasalanan ng Manila imperialism yan ng Maynila. Nung NCR. So, parang yung National Capital Region is basically dictating what we have. So, ganun din yung So, meron na nga yung batas. No? I'm part of the technical working group on the bill on Philippine culinary heritage and gastronomy.
Okay.
So, bukas actually yung technical working group hearing namin. So, ina-avoid natin yung pagiging yung superiority ng Maynila to dictate what they want. So, ang ano ko talaga is have like a regional, each region, we have 18 regions now, sila yung talaga mag-shepherd kung anong meron sila. In fact, speaking of national dish, Japan doesn't have a national dish. Italy doesn't have a national dish.
But they have
France
protected, as in
They
sa
have
Italy, protected industries.
Yeah, yung AOD, yung mga GI.
Yes.
These are really, really important things that we have to understand. Yun nga, no? So, one of the clauses in the bill na talagang sinusulong ko is essentially yung geographic indication of each ingredient. No?
How does that look like?
Okay. Dapat, halimbawa, when you say sukang paumbong, No one has the right to use the name sukang paumbong unless it's really produced in the paumbong area
Okay.
in Bulacan. Kasi yung terroir niya, yung source ng suka niya, yung source ng mga main ingredients niya is from that area. So if that particular suka has that particular vinegar has acetic acid and it doesn't contain nipa, or it does, and then it's made in Cebu, you cannot call it suka paumbong anymore. So ganun yun, no? So maraming produkto tayo na kailangan talaga na magkaroon ng protection.
Speaking of protection, eto naman, parang in terms of our cuisine, laging may discussion of protection/reinvention, what's authentic and not authentic. And I know your stand on this now. Pero ang question ko is, if we wanted to have real value-centered discussion on the truths of Philippine cuisine, what are the things that we should agree on as baselines to assess the cuisine?
Okay. Meron tayong mga baseline recipes that needs to be protected. And then at the same time, I think the Kapampangans are doing it now for their sisig. So you cannot call it sisig anymore if it has mayonnaise.
Okay. Yes.
Or call it another thing. Let's say tofu sisig with mayonnaise. But don't call it authentic sisig. Ganun naman eh. But like most cultural products, or products of cultural production, they evolve over time.
Yes.
So like food, if you compare, like I also published the book of Maria Orosa,
Yes.
yung Appetite for Freedom. If you look at the adobo recipe that she wrote in 1922, it's so different now from the adobo recipe that we have here.
Yeah.
Using toyo, yung original niya walang toyo, yung original na adobo niya is walang laurel, salt and pepper. So these are the things that we have to protect, no? So that's why it's very important, aside from regional folks tsaka yung mga cultural bearers. Dapat meron tayong mga anthropologists, mga food historians who's actually doing a lot of groundwork and baseline research on food, no? Para magkaroon talaga ng thorough or a profound understanding what Filipino food is all about.
Sobrang kulang ba ng mga food historians, writers, and say ground workers natin to document the cuisine?
Actually, marami tayong anthropologists, archaeologists, food historians, or historians for that matter, who practice a lot of these things, no? Yung mga on ground, yung ground zero research, no? However, yung works nila, kasi one example is I attended yung Ugat conference. So this is the Ugnayang Pang-Agham Tao. This is the Association of Filipino Anthropologists. So we have this conference in 2019 in Baybay, Leyte. Ang dami-daming abstract, mga anthropologists mismo sumulat about local food. Kaya lang, most of these abstracts haven't been read or seen
nationally?
Publicly. Kasi, syempre, may, iba naman kasi yung academic publishing. May mga peer review yan and everything. So, but yung mga basic data, yung basic findings, nandun lahat. So, marami talaga nagtatrabaho. It's a matter of like sending this information to our restaurateur, to our chefs, to DTI, to DOT, para they have like a profound understanding of the essence of Filipino food.
Talaga siya? Multi-organization? Hindi siya pwedeng...
Oo, hindi.
It's a
Hindi
parang
lang
whole
isang
of society
organization
approach pa
yan.
rin.
Yeah, tsaka multidisciplinary rin.
Yes.
So merong kang botany, may biology, merong anthropology, archaeology. Yan, marami. Marami.
At saka
May
kahit yung
agriculture.
data gathering mo dyan, quantity and quality, kasi marami ka pa rin pamilya na hindi naman sinulat din yung recipes ng food nila eh.
Tama. Oo. Yun. Kaya ang suggest ko for food mapping, you start with the hyper-local, meaning barangay level.
Barangay level, yes. Kasi ang pagtingin din natin sa ingredients ngayon, medyo may town and municipality, pero meron talagang differences even in the barangay level.
Oo. Pati yung manner of cooking, nag-iiba between towns eh.
Actually, ito yung springboard ko for the next question. So, I read din your statements about let's not use authenticity because I mean, hindi naman authentic yung cuisine by virtue of ang dami na nating dinaan ng cultures. Colonization.
Culture,
Yung question ko,
availability of the ingredients.
Yeah. When we talk about the cuisine naman, at what point does an influence stop being foreign and when does it become Filipino? I mean, what has to happen for that transformation to be?
Yung sinabi ni Doreen Fernandez, no? Mahabang interview yun, no? Which appeared in Gastronomica magazine. Yung buod ng interview, no? Basically, she said, let's not ask what Filipino food is. The question, what is Filipino food? But rather, we have to reframe the question as how food becomes Filipino. So, according to Doreen, once the food landed in the Philippines, Filipino na yon kasi we use different, like escabeche in the Philippines is different from escabeche in Mexico or in Spain. So, basically, it's a pickled fish. Pero yung sa atin, pickled fish natin, escabeche natin, hindi nalalayo sa paksiw because it's braised in vinegar. So may mga ganong instances na we really have to look at food in such a way through the lens of the scholars, but at the same time it's important na masarap ba yan? kahit pinag-aralan ng mga scholars, di ba? At the end of the day, the reason food survived is the prevailing taste, preference ng mga eaters. That's why you have certain food na hindi na popular because it's only like eaten by certain people or certain ethno-linguistic groups or certain people with economic background. So, ganun yung nangyayari. So, hindi rin natin siya mapipigilan.
Okay.
Yung ganung klaseng pagpalit or pagbabago ng food, no? So,
but how I see it...
naman...
Sige.
Yeah,
Ako naman how I saw that, kung hindi natin siya mapipigilan, hindi ba yung minority culture will always be under attack of, say, a majority eating culture? And so, where does culture evolving naturally and protecting, let's say, the more vulnerable stakeholders begin?
Yun nga, part ng bill is like really protecting the vulnerable members of the society. So, hindi na tayo lalayo. Halimbawa, may mga, halimbawa sa Nueva Ecija, sa may bandang Sierra Madre, when they start to mine the place, maraming madi-displaced na tao, yung mga ethno-linguistic groups where they get their ingredients, where they get their food supply. So, once na merong mga disruptions na ganon, mangyayari niyan is mawawala talaga yung kultura. So, yung magpe-prevail lang talaga yung mga culture na merong strong economic background. Like urban centers, mga ganyan. But then magiging performative na lang yung pagkain nila na
performative or aspirational.
Oo, or aspirational na isi-serve halimbawa sa this particular dish is yung ganyang yung ingredients niya can be only found in this area na gano'n. Tapos this is the manner of cooking. Pero yung ritual tsaka yung parang mga totoong pagkain, yung kinakain talaga ng mga tao na nakatira dun sa particular location, wala na, patay na. Diba? So yun yung parang nakakatakot mangyari. Because,
at nangyayari siya, nangyayari na.
At nangyayari, no?
Yeah.
So we've seen it in the last 40 years na maraming mga food waste na, as far as, let's say, dun sa Balangiga, no? Dun sa may barangay Saob in Samar. Tapos, grabe yung fishing industry nila doon, no? They have to, although bawal yung cyanide fishing, pero walang choice yung mga fishermen to employ that kind of practices.
Yeah.
Na minsan hindi na natitignan ng batas, ng mga kinaukulan. And then ito talaga yung mga marginalized groups na talagang kawawa.
And sa kanila, I mean, sa atin kaya pinag-usapan natin, food is memory, food is care. But for vulnerable groups, food, first and foremost, is survival. Diba?
Survival, oh.
Yeah.
Like take for instance, yung ating street food. No? I was just in Keelung in Taiwan. Yung street food ng Keelung sa this is like northern Taiwan. It's about tradition and heritage.
Yeah.
Pero pag pumunta ka sa Quiapo, yung pagkain is survival. Yung street food sa Quiapo. So, laki talaga ng diferensya. No? Sila, they're like selling xiaolongbao na with a 1,000-year-old history, di ba?
Yeah.
Tapos tayo, isaw.
Isaw.
I mean, I'm not comparing. It's apples and oranges. I don't really like to compare.
So, in-interview din ako before about why we don't have a strong street food culture compared to Singapore. Yung sinagot ko naman doon ay, even the way we look at food preparation is a way to other more vulnerable stakeholders na. Halimbawa, yung street food, tingin natin sa kanya madumi, pangmahirap, yun nga, for survival. To the point that the street has to be for the poor only. In comparison to our Southeast Asian sisters na yung pinakamayayaman mo tsaka yung medyo pinakamahirap mo magkasamang kumakain sa isang hawker.
Tama.
To me, malaki din yung pagkukulang natin as a nation na hindi natin kino-consider deeply si street food as part of our greater eating habits. And ginagawa lang siya parang pang survival lalo na pag wala kang pera. And that translates to not dignifying your cultural workers, your vendors, your small-scale farmers. Kasi ang tingin mo, mababa lang yung value ng street food na to sa kalsada mo lang siya kinakain.
Yun nga yung mga sinusulat kong mga sa DOT, no? I'm a certified trainer, no? Assessor. Yung sinusulat kong mga modules sa DOT, lagi ko sinasabi, premium is the new, local is the new premium. We have to valorize our food na gano'n, no? Kasi yung experience ko naman sa Cavite is, sa Cavite, walang pagkain mahirap, walang pagkain mayaman. So you can actually see people side by side eating in a karinderya. Na very stately, na kahit karinderya siya, people are eating the same food, no?
Yes.
So,
ang batawag dito. Gusto ko naman mag-zoom out, no? Kasi tayo, di ba, parang nothing is authentic here as long dahil dumaan na tayo sa mahabang panahon ng colonialism. But I think yung discourse with regard to Filipino cuisine, dalawa siya eh. The people who live here, who are eating and making the dishes, and also Filipinos who are part of the diaspora cooking. So, halimbawa ngayon, sobrang viral nung Ilocos empanada, di ba?
Mm.
It's a dito nga sa atin, feeling ko hindi siya ganun ka-celebrated, but you have batawag dito the diaspora content creators talking about it and sobrang wild niya.
Right.
Diba?
Oo.
Parang how do we strike a balance naman between the perception of what makes Filipino food between those who are here making the food here versus those who want to hold on through memory, for example, in other countries where they don't have access to the same ingredients that we have.
Kasi ang nakikita ko naman sa mga sa diaspora who come over here
Mhm.
to create content.
Mhm.
First of all, they have the technology, no,
Mhm.
to do it. Compared to the people living in, let's say, in Ilocos, like in Vigan, in Burgos,
Mhm.
in sa Kabugao, no?
Mhm.
Kung tutusin, marami naman talaga tayong empanada, hindi lang vegan, hindi lang isa.
Yes, hindi lang
And,
vegan.
Maraming version yan. Maraming version din ng papaitan.
Yes.
Maraming version ng dinakdakan. Tsaka yung
Kahit pakbet.
ilabraw, pakbet, pinakbet, no? Maraming version. So, ang nakikita ko lang sa Ilocos, people from Ilocos really patronize their food. No?
Mhm. Mhm.
They don't need to be reminded. They don't need to be reminded by other people
Mhm.
that their food exists. However, yun nga, no? So they have the technology to make it viral.
Mhm.
So ako parang wala balance naman yung ganong klaseng may balance pa rin somehow na nakikita ko kasi I'm always on the ground.
Yeah.
Tapos nakikita ko rin sa internet, sa mga social media,
Mhm.
how they actually create a content.
Mhm.
Kaya lang, minsan yung mga content creators calling it another names, like naming them
Coconut
a
mochi,
foreign
ganun.
name. Coconut mochi, mga ganon. I mean, it's no different from people calling queso puti quesillo,
Mhm.
or yung paksiw, tsaka yung mga iba-ibang say, like how the Mexicans, when they came here,
Mhm.
they encountered adobo, they encountered actually chicken braised in vinegar,
Yeah.
and then they start calling it adobo.
Mhm.
So, di natin ma-avoid yun. But content creators have a responsibility to give food the proper nomenclature or the proper name.
Mhm. And that name should be the name by which the locals call it.
The local name, yes.
Yeah. Pagdating
Correct.
naman sa mga Filipino chefs natin who are outside the Philippines, no, would you say that yung initial rise ng Filipino food, the rise of sisig, the rise of adobo,
Mhm.
is it partly because to the diaspora chef, ito yung Filipino food? This is what they
Yun nga, no, like you have like talagang migration, no, as early as the beginning of the 20th century until the 70s, 80s, no. People are leaving the Philippines for the United States, no. And then a lot of those people, my family included, parang it's not that they wanted to erase their culture, but they want to assimilate to the American culture by practicing Western form of eating and dining.
Mhm.
Kaya lang, kaya naging ganun yung mga, let's say, mga Gen Z na content creators because their parents never taught them.
Yeah.
Or maraming although not all, no, hindi sila hindi nila alam yung mga so they're hungry for literally and figuratively
Mhm.
for Filipino food culture. So
And
ganun
yeah.
pa no. ganun ka complex, no? So I'm thinking na parang okay, so this is ito yung because nga they wanted to assimilate to the Western concept of yung lifestyle. Tapos nag-umpisa yun yung Latinx, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung Latina.
Yeah.
Yung
Yung Filipinx.
Latino, Latina-X. Yung Filipinx. And then you have all these Filipino who's born there like third, fourth generation.
Yeah.
What's my culture? What's my So I don't really blame them for that. However, they are actually creating a third culture.
Okay, what does that mean?
The culture of their parents, their origins, and the culture of their host country.
Okay.
So ito yung third culture, no? Parang third wave coffee.
Kaya ka,
Di ba?
Oo. And then
So,
it strikes a
ito yung third
balance.
culture.
Striking a balance
Yes.
between...
Na hindi na siya Filipino na halimbawa, na Filipino na parang what you find in Cebu, in Iloilo, in Ilocos. Pero this is like another layer of Filipino culture that is different from the motherland.
Yeah. But when
Which is
you translate all these messages together, hindi ba nagkakaroon din ng competition in defining what Filipino cuisine is?
Hindi, yun nga, yung dapat it has to be contextualized. It has to be it has to be contextualized, and it has to be part of that the whole ito yung part talaga to ng Filipino consciousness. In fact, I'm doing a book with Chef Reggie Aspiras, no?
Yes.
It's called Savoring Sunshine. So we included, aside from yung mga cooking of yung ating mga ninuno, like dumagats, aita, yung mga lumad, the cooking of the not just the Tagalog, the Kapampangan. I also included the cooking of the Pinoy na underrepresented. Kasi yung food na created by the Pinoys in the Philippines, it's so Pinoy, Chinese-Filipino. And those food, they may have Hokkien or Hokkien names. However, you cannot find them in Hong Kong, in Macau, in Fujian, or in San Francisco. And it's very unique to us, to the Philippines.
Yes.
Even the ingredients. Ganun din yung mga cooking ng that's why we included the cooking of the diaspora. No? Na parang included sila dun sa discourse, dun sa book. So dapat yun yung parang ito yung gusto kong linawin na kasi you cannot like write everything in just one book.
Yes.
It has to be written in different publications or in different formats or in video form or short form essay. Like yung ginagawa ni Feliz Santa Maria ngayon. No? It's very, very interesting. What the recipes don't tell you. Tapos when mangoes met olives, yung mga ganong type of publication. Very interesting yung mga nangyayari ngayon.
Yes. Actually, sobrang daming ang nangyayari na parang minsan medyo overstimulated ka na with information and what's happening in Philippine cuisine.
Correct.
But
Correct.
I think what's clear now to everyone is that Filipino food is gaining global attention.
True.
Being the Filipinos
That's true.
that we are in relation to the foreign gazes, what do you think are things that we are most tempted to simplify or to erase so that the gaze can so that the gaze can be focused on us, and what would that cost us in the long run?
Actually, I'm not. You cannot avoid the
global gaze,
the Western gaze anymore. Yung global gaze, no. With the advent of let's say the Michelin star,
Yeah.
the UNTO, United Nations, and then yung UNESCO, yung creative city for gastronomy.
Yeah.
You cannot really avoid that, but like our duty now is like to show them what the real Filipino food is, what's the what's the current situation in all the different areas that we have. No? So actually, as a practicing food scholar, I don't want naman to intervene. I don't want to change anything. But what we have is like, what I have is basically presenting the data and presenting the findings to the general public for them to appreciate Filipino food more, or to have a better appreciation of Filipino food.
But syempre, you
Like,
want your readers to, I mean, batawag dito, to process it and do something
Oh
beneficial.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yung in relation to that, ano yung nakikita mong role ni ordinary Filipino in ano yung role ng Filipino cuisine in gastro-diplomacy, and ano yung role nating mga Filipino in creating that way?
Ang role natin is to eat more Filipino food.
Yes. And be proud of it.
Be proud of it. Choose the local ingredients, not to be very, very regionalistic about our food. Halimbawa, certain regions, halimbawa, they would say, ay, di naman masarap yung pagkain nila eh. Masarap yung pagkain natin. Di ba? May mga ganong instances like they won't eat. I mean, it's really a matter of choice. I mean, being a Tagalog, I enjoy Ilonggo food, Kapampangan food, the food of Cordillera. So maraming So we really have to have an open mind and understand what the other Philippine food is all about, no? Hindi lang yung parang of course, like we like to promote Kapampangan food, we like to promote Visayan food, no? But we cannot just like put down one culture and choose the other one which is better. Ayoko nung hindi naman masarap yung pagkain nila. Ayoko nung ganong attitude, no? Kasi lahat naman tayo Filipino, so we have to open our minds na parang it's not all about your region.
Yeah. Actually,
But
that's a funny story din kasi so ako, I come from Ilocos, no? I was born and raised there. Pero dun sa restaurant, meron tayong kansi. Meron pang tula itom. So when people look at the menu and they say, are you from Mindanao or are you from Iloilo? And when I say I'm from Ilocos, and they say, oh, bakit ka nagluluto ng kansi? As if Filipino cooks should only cook food within their own regions. Yun naman yung sa aking
Oo. Totoo. May mga ganon. Parang lumalabas na cultural appropriation.
Di ba parang,
So,
Pilipino nga ako eh. Di ba dapat may access din ako
Correct.
sa region na to?
tama. Oh, I think that's the right attitude. Di ba? Tama naman yon. There's nothing wrong with that unless but you have to do it right,
Yes,
no?
yes.
The proper way.
Yun yung question ko. Parang for someone who's not from there, should we do it the traditional way? When can we have, like, let's say, a space for
you
art?
can, as a being a chef is part of the creative kung chef ka, halimbawa, may mga creative impulses tayo to produce something that doesn't belong to us culturally. But it's still part of the geography. It's part of our being. It's part of our consciousness. And learning the food of other regions makes us a better person. It makes us a better chef because we are actually experimenting or trying to learn Diyos ko, ilang bang Pilipino ang nag-aral ng French cuisine. Hindi naman sila question ng mga Frances.
Totoo.
Diba?
Yes. So, pag may foreigner din na nagluto ng Filipino food, wag din nating questionin.
Oo, kasi halimbawa, si Chef Jayson meron siyang restaurant, pangalan, Le Soufflé. Question ba siya ng mga Frances? Hindi.
Hindi.
Diba?
Tayo,
Tapos
actually,
sino?
sino?
Halimbawa, si Chef Bruce Ricketts, meron siyang Japanese restaurant, meron siyang izakaya. Question ba siya ng mga, tapos in fact, martial arts expert pa nga si Chef Bruce Ricketts. So, may mga ibang cultural dimension yung pagluluto niya because it's like parang black belt or something of some Japanese martial art form. So, ang bottom line is, masarap ba? Di ba?
Yung standard ng masarap, meron bang objective, universal standards for it? Parang wala rin naman.
Hindi. Kasi napaka-subjective naman kasi ng Pilipino, ng pagkain talaga. It may be nice for someone, but for the others, it's poison. Diba?
Yeah.
Parang gano'n.
Okay, medyo last. We only have a few minutes. Meron na lang akong a few questions.
Sure.
Start ng, kung nasa buffet table ka at ikaw ay isang plato, ano yung iyong spread on your plate?
Yan. Kasi, ano ba to? International buffet or...
O mag-Filipino tayo, isang Filipino plate, isang international plate.
Okay. Pag Filipino buffet, normally, yung mga kinukuha ko, yung mga ingredients na wala, na mahirap kunin, halimbawa, na hindi ko ginagawa sa bahay. So, nandiyan yung mga gusto, lato, kinilaw, yun, no? Kinilaw kasi it's hard to do kinilaw.
It's hard? It's hard to make kinilaw?
No, for me, it's hard. Yeah, I mean, I have to go to a place where I can buy the freshest ingredients. And then I have to buy the proper vinegar.
Yeah. May
Tapos,
tabon-tabon
by the
ka
time
pa.
I get home, may mga tabon-tabon, may mga biyasong, may mga ganon. So yun. Yun yung normal preference ko. Then, of course, lechon. Diba? Kasi, I don't cook lechon in the house.
Ang laki.
Saka, yun, like, my favorite talaga yung mga sinugba, yung mga sutokil, things that I cannot do in the house.
At saka parang medyo puro fiery flavors. I mean, like live fire cooking method.
Oo, like halimbawa kung merong panganang bariles na grilled, yon, yan, number 1 yun sa plate ko. Kasi it's hard to get those things, di ba? Mahal-mahal ng tuna.
Yeah.
Like yung panganang bariles sa farmers market sa Cubao would cost you more than 1,000 pesos per kilo.
Yeah.
So, or 1/2 kilo lang yata yung 1,000 pesos. So, yun.
Okay.
Very, yun yung aking buffet selection.
Okay. Magla-last question ako, again, no? Kasi we've been described as the next big thing, Sleeping Beauty cuisine, etc. But I want to ask, like, how do you envision, what would peak maturity look like for our cuisine if it ever happens?
I don't really like Filipino food to become a trend. I want it to become like the Vietnamese pho, na hindi na siya trend, but people actually, I feel like adobo tonight. So they'll go to a place na hindi na trend, but it's more of a preference. Kasi mahirap yung trend. Trend nagbabago yan, nawawala yan. Like the Filipinos, di ba? Parang ang hilig natin, meron tayong mga lechon manok trend, shawarma trend.
Yeah.
Tapos bigla na lang namamatay because hindi na siya trendy.
Yeah.
But I like it to be parang there's a restaurant that you go to, local restaurant that's sustainable. And then I'll just kumain ng silang palukang manok. Ito yung place na to. Masarap yung silang palukang manok nila. Merong inihaw na liempo, may talaba. Yung tipong ganon na type na Pinoy restaurant. Tapos, hindi siya masyadong mahal.
Hindi masyadong mahal. Yeah.
Reasonable. But at the same time, I see it, hindi siya mag-peak not in 5 years. But people are still experimenting kasi when you talk about restaurant, it's about market forces.
Yes. So,
and market forces, yun yung mga variables eh.
Yes. And mas marami pang powerful institutions that can correct it or can actually make it better. So,
yes.
Ako, personally, ang tingin ko, yung mga kaya natin gawin natin siya within our lanes, but the problems for the problems within the cuisine, it requires large-scale national government intervention.
Tsaka the very basic is ingredient.
Yeah.
So that's the job of the Department of Agriculture.
Yes.
Tapos hindi lang yung mga cash crops, but yung mga they should also concentrate on wild crafted forage products na we have to protect our forests. Kasi may mga ingredients tayo na hindi kinu-cultivate but it's lang. Diba? Like yung mga mud crabs, yung mga talangka. It's forage, it's not cultivated. So pag namatay yung certain species, pag nawala yung body of water or body of land, wala ka ng saan sila kukuha ng mga ingredients. So these are like the important aspects that we need to really talk about, to discuss. Na parang ganun lang, just simple.
Yun. Sobrang alam mo ba, I mean, before mag-start yung show, sabi ko, sige, break tayo ng 4 times kasi medyo awkward naman na ako lang yung nandito tas sa screen lang kita nakikita. Pero this conversation, sobrang malaman niya, hindi na tayo nakapag-break.
Oh my God. So, I've been talking for an hour.
But I'm very happy. I hope to meet you in person soon. I hope to share a meal with you soon. Parang these are things that I really want to talk about. Ito yung mga nauna sa akin before doing the restaurant versus the actual dishes that we make at the restaurant. So I really want to have a conversation with you soon. Thank you for guesting dito sa aming humble program, and we're very happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're very happy we have people like you who are championing Filipino cuisines and the way we should treat our food with respect as well as the people.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Sorry, kinuha ka namin sa dinner mo. Please say hi to sila Chef Tina. And
I will. Thank you.
All right. Mga kababayan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you po. Isa na namang episode ng Pinoy Flavors ang natunghayan natin. Isang napaka komprehensibong discussion about Filipino cuisines. No? Abangan po natin next week ulit ang Pinoy Flavors with Chef Jayson. Magandang gabi po.